This morning I'm going to be talking about shut off the fan. I don't even know what they're called, but you see them sometimes maybe when you stop at a stoplight, or you see them when you're driving down a road. They're these tall, skinny things, that sort of like a pipe, and they've got it's some kind of advertising gimmick outside some business to draw attention to that business. And they have this powerful fan inside them and down at the bottom, and it just causes them to sway and double over and flop around. And I'm not talking about something you don't know about. You've seen them so many times. Yeah, you can't help looking though, can you? They just capture your attention for a moment, and that's what they're designed to do. So you'll see the store, so maybe you'll pay attention to the sale going on in the store. Maybe induce you to come in. Maybe you'd been thinking about, well, I need something like that. Maybe I ought to stop. And it does what it's supposed to do. But it isn't very flattering to say this, but at times we are pretty much like those skinny, floppy figures that are blown by an unseen fan, but the fan is inside us. The fan is a metaphor for strong feelings, for negative mental reactions, things that happen in life, and our response to it. We might be feeling just fine, everything's going along beautifully, then one thing, or maybe a series of things happen to trigger this strong feeling, and it's as though we don't have a choice. Our mind, our emotions just are swept up in this powerful inner wind. We flop around mentally and emotionally, feeling just pain and worry, upset, sometimes saying and doing things that are really not based much on common sense, much less the spiritual truths that we've been taught in this church. We just react. What triggers those reactions? Well, a colossal number of things might cause them, far more than I could name, certainly. But it's helpful to take a look at and give some time and thought to whether we might at times harbor such negative thoughts and emotions. Now, there is a helpful list of such negative things, I'm sorry to say, but they are, these feelings and sometimes actions, in one of the lessons from the Fundamentals of Divine Science course. Those of you who've taken it probably remember that. But today I thought it might be a good idea to take another look at that list. And, well, sometimes stuff that didn't bother us a year ago, 5 years ago, starts bothering us for some reason or another. It comes up in another form. But whether you've taken the class or not, the list can be both reassuring and informing, because as we go through it, we can just tick off the things. Oh, well, I don't do that. That doesn't bother me. And at the same time, we could notice those things that might cause us trouble, things that we might never have actually looked at carefully or defined, that things that might be going on in the backs of our minds and could be the source of a problem, either now or in the future. So I would appreciate if the usher would give out that list. Thank you so much. We're just going to briefly look at this thing. Fear, worry, envy, self-pity, hate, anger, fault-finding, anxiety, remorse, jealousy, self-condemnation, resentment, impatience, hurry, negative excitement as opposed to enthusiasm, sensitivity to criticism, whether real or imagined, restlessness, overloading, that's trying to do too much at once, Anybody guilty of that? No, of course not. Holding grudges, feelings of inferiority or superiority, irritability, regret, indecision, overstimulation, overambition, greed, dislike of people or things. Not a happy list. The list could probably be longer, but this certainly is a useful inventory of negative emotional states and attitudes. And anything we might recognize, perhaps, as something, some inside series of thoughts that are causing us inner or outer difficulties right now. So I urge you to keep the list, stick it away in a corner someplace, and get it out once in a while and take a second look at it. Because maybe there are things that you need to be reminded of in that list, or you need to know. So, then what? You've got your list. What are you going to do with this information now? There are some powerful there are some powerful healing things you can do that will dissolve present or future problems caused by these negative states or emotions. Excuse me. No, water doesn't help. I wish it did. Now, certainly one very powerful thing you can do is begin to meditate. Well, I know, because I've asked before, that there are a number of you that already do. And we all know that a few years ago, if you mentioned that you meditated, people would kind of roll their eyes to the ceiling. But these days, meditation has gone mainstream. People across the whole spectrum of modern life and interest have found it to be so helpful, so useful, that it's no longer considered, woo, something strange, something way out there. But it's grown to be understood as a smart, very useful thing to do for yourself. This ancient practice has fans in so many spectrums of life: entertainers, business executives, athletes, physicians, psychologists, even government legislators, even them. Now, some of their names are so very familiar. Like the Beatles, remember, they went to study with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi a number of years ago. But today's enthusiasts include such well-known, important people like Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra, who got together and developed a program that they made available, and some 3 million people have taken their course. And there are others who surprisingly publicly endorse meditation, people you wouldn't expect, like Arianna Huffington of the Huffington Post, like Anderson Cooper of CNN, Ellen DeGeneres, and Pete Carroll of the Seattle Seahawks. Mr. Carroll, of course, is their coach, but he believes that their meditation practice, and the whole team practices meditation, really helped them to win the Super Bowl last year. Tim Ryan, who is a House Democrat from Ohio, holds weekly meditation sessions on Capitol Hill, right there in the midst of government. Wow. A meditation program is available for the employees of Google. And so many of people have been taken it, been helped. Learning meditation has gone very, very public. Actually, it's been of a great benefit to at-risk school children and to school teachers. Goodness knows they need the help. John Kabat-Zinn, who's a molecular biologist, developed a meditation program for alleviating the pain and stress of cancer in cancer patients. And the program he created is now available in some 250 hospitals across the country. What a blessing. Researchers at Harvard tell us that meditation increases the gray matter in the brain areas that are associated with learning, with memory, and with compassion. And it decreases it in the part of the brain that's least linked to anxiety and stress. Isn't that good news? Isn't that wonderful news? But how exactly do you link the benefits of meditation with this rather toxic series of um, difficult, um, unhelpful emotions, thoughts that I've just had passed out? Things that could be really causing us problems in life. So the first question has to be, what do you do or not do when you are meditating? That's a good place to start. Now, I know that everybody here who meditates has their own way of doing it. And then yours is a little different from everybody else's. It's not a one way fits all at all. But could we this morning start out by doing what we routinely do on Sunday mornings? And that is, you scan the body just right where you are, and you deliberately relax all the places that are not relaxed. Just check your face and your jaw muscles and your shoulders, arms, your hands. Try straightening your back, because we're more comfortable when we can sit straight, and just balance the body on your hips. And relax the rest of the body, that is the stomach, legs, and feet. It's a pleasure to just feel a relaxed body. And begin, and keep your eyes open for this. Begin some very slow, gentle breathing. Breathe in slowly and fill your lungs as far as you can to the top comfortably. Hold for just a couple of moments, and then breathe out again, slowly, gently, until your lungs are comfortably empty. Hold again just for a couple of seconds, and breathe in slowly again. Just slowing down the breath slows down the mind, slows down the body, relaxes everything. So for just a moment, with your eyes open, give full attention to just your breathing. Now, because you're here, it probably did not for these few moments, but when you do it for a little while, the mind just goes right off into whatever issue or challenge, every task that you have to do right away or within the next period of time. But since it always does this, we are accustomed to just gently bringing it back to the inner peace, to filling your lungs with air. That's what you're concentrating on now. Just breathing, taking it in, gently letting it out. Now, could something this simple help your brain change for the better? Change both your brain and your body in such wonderful ways? Is that possible? Absolutely. Absolutely. But then, how do we combine meditation, that deep breathing, that gentle in and out of the breath, and just concentrating on the breath? How do you marry that somehow to that list that might be causing problems? Hmm. You know, divine science gives us such an uplifting, healing approach to life, to everything, actually. How do we define God? God is omnipresent, and all that He is omnipresent. Divine energy is the basis of every created thing in the universe. And that includes body, breath, thoughts. It includes everything. With every conscious breath while you're meditating, you can draw more and more God energy, God good, God power, God love into yourself. The indrawn breath, drawing in everything that is already here, but consciously making it part of your mind, part of your body. You are reconnecting yourself mentally, physically, spiritually with God and all that He is in you as you. With the thought of something that might arouse perhaps fear, anxiety, worry, breathe in God's power. Breathe it in, and it will help you to overcome, to heal. It'll show you the way. Self-pity, that's one of the things on the list. Self-condemnation, that's erased when we breathe in the truth that I am God's image and likeness. I am God's own. And God always knows me as Himself. There is no room for low self-esteem with such a consciousness as we revisit that truth. We can breathe out fault-finding, jealousy, impatience. We can breathe in the truth that we are all brothers and sisters in God, and everybody is doing the best they know at this moment. If we want to breathe out hatred, anger, we can at the same time breathe in the truth that God's good, God's omnipresence is transforming that individual, that situation, into a blessing for us, a blessing for them, a blessing for all. We breathe out the difficulty and breathe in what we know to be true of God. Breathe in God's wisdom and peace. And then you can begin to mentally, spiritually release the hurry that life is in this society, the overloading, the overstimulation sometimes that we all experience. And instead, we're breathing in calm, good judgment. That's what takes their place. In other words, breathe out what you want to release, breathe in whatever of God's powerful, omnipresent qualities you need. Breathe in the opposite of what you might be concerned about. God good is omnipresent. Appropriate it. Breathe it in. Be aware of it. Celebrate it. It is available to you. Omnipresence heals everything. Everything. You can ensure that never again will you have those inner gales of negative thoughts and emotions and feelings that'll blow away your sense of God is with me right here, right now, empowering me. Instead, you will continue, no matter what happens, to feel a sense of inner peace, spiritual peace, inner power, spiritual power, inner good, God's good, right here, right now, always.